and today I am doing a January wrap-ups and February TBR video. January, not gonna lie, was a little bit crazy for me. I don't think I've ever done this much reading in 1 month ever. Here is my January pile, and this does not even include all of the books that I read in January. Some of them I read on my Kindle, and then some of them were audiobooks. So I'm gonna quickly go through what I read in January and kind of just give you my brief thoughts on what I read in January, and then we're gonna go over what books I want to read in February. The first book I wound up finishing in January, which I actually started in December, but I wasn't able to finish it in December, is Song of Silver, Flame Like Night. And this book was actually one of my first arcs given to me from the publishing company of this book. I was so excited to get to receive this book early, and I was so excited to get the opportunity to read it, and I did wind up giving it a 3-star. I think that the magic system was amazing and super unique, and I really enjoyed reading about that aspect of the book, but I just didn't really feel like the characters were well fleshed out, and I just didn't have a big connection to the two main characters, and so for that reason I gave it a 3 out of 5. Next, I read The Cheat Sheet, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. I was a little skeptical about it. I've never really been one to be intrigued by like sports romance. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I absolutely loved it. Sarah Adams' writing is so like spunky and fun and just really cute. Like some of the things were a little like immature, but they wound up being funny, and so I think it was fine. I appreciated that the sports aspect of the book was not super overwhelming. Didn't feel like I was watching a football game while reading my book, which was really nice. Next, I mean, this isn't 100% in order, but I dove into the Cruel Prince series this month. I have all of the books. And I also got the Lost Sisters on my Kindle because I just needed the whole thing. And I am also currently reading The Stolen Heir because I just was like, I need more of this. I genuinely did not expect to love this series as much as I did. I flew through these books, and I mean, that also being said, they're not super long books. They're all about like 350 pages-ish. I still stand by this feeling. I genuinely do not understand how Holly Black can put in so much detail without it being too flowery or too lyrical or too boring or overwhelming. And she puts so much into one book. So much happens, and there's so much development and so much like connection and all of this stuff. And I'm like, how? Like there are books that I have read that are 500, 600 pages that don't have what she puts into a 350 page book. I would highly, 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 highly recommend, if you were like me and you were like one of the only people on planet Earth to not have read the Cruel Prince series yet or the Folk of the Air series yet, please run and go do it. So I read a book called Mad About You, and this one was kind of an interesting book. I would say it probably could be classified under romance, but it also falls very heavily into literary fiction. The romance is definitely a subplot in this book, and I did not go into it knowing that, so I think like part of me was a little bit disappointed, but I do think that the messaging that this book brought, the issues that the book dealt with and kind of handled and brought to light were really important, and I really appreciated the depth of the book. I did wind up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading it. I just think it didn't quite hit the 5-star because there were definitely times where it felt a little bit sluggish. That's why I got a 4 out of 5 star, but overall I really liked the main character and I really liked the love interest, and overall I just think I enjoyed the story. And then I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, this book gave me the craziest spin. With this book, I really enjoyed it, and I read it extremely fast, but I think I could have used a little bit more in the first half of the book. The second half was extremely whirlwind, and so that's why I wound up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, because of the second half, and also just the writing style in general. Like, even through the first half that was a little bit slow paced, I still really enjoyed myself while reading it. And I would say, if you've been curious about this book, I would highly recommend. Yeah, it's under 300 pages, so it was a really quick read. The twist was so interesting and nothing that I could have called. And then I read The Curse of the Wolf King, which is the book that has the really awkward under the dust jacket. I don't know, maybe that's just my personal like thing, whatever. I have no problem with like illustrations of characters, whatnot. I love that. I don't know, I think it was just a little much for being on the front cover of the book, especially because I read without my dust jacket, and so I just felt so embarrassed like carrying it around town, and like, yeah, it was just a little much for me. But the actual book itself, I think I would probably say that this is a 4.5 out of 5. On Goodreads, I did give it a 5 because I would rather round up than down, personally. I wasn't sure how I would feel about reading a retelling so closely paralleled to a story that I already know, because this is parallelogram? It parallels The Beauty and the Beast. I would say it was worth it. I really enjoyed it, and I really love that the author kind of incorporated side characters that she then writes into other retellings, like Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty or whatever other one she's done. It could just be read as a standalone. I love that you don't have to commit to the full series if you don't want to, and you could just read a one-off that sounds really good to you. Those are the 10 books that I read in January, and I am just so surprised because normally I think I read anywhere from like 4 to 6 books a month. So this was just like kind of a crazy month for me, and I feel like it was just such a good reading month, and I really needed that. So I'm not sure what February is gonna look like. Maybe it'll be 10 more books, maybe it'll be 4 books, like who knows. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on it, but I do want to kind of go over some of the books that I would like to read in February if I'm able to get to them. For the February TBR, okay, we have a stack. Okay, I'm not 100% sure about all of these, but these are some that I'm very excited to get to. The first one, which I think will be pretty quick to get through, is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I have just heard such amazing things about this book, and the premise of kind of time traveling and a cute coffee shop in Tokyo. The idea of like, what would you change if you could go back in time? I really love the concept, and also it's a little peewee of a book, which is always nice. Next, I need to take this sticker off, the YA Book Club sticker, but I would love to read Belladonna. Well, obviously this just sounds like a really good book, and 2, I think sometimes I get a little like caught up in book series, which I really love reading book series, but sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming because I'm someone who likes to read a series in order, like back to back to back to back, that I can get a little bit overwhelmed and intimidated to start multiple series at once. So the second book in this duology does not come out until August, so if I read the first one, I literally have to wait to get the second one. So I will feel like I can start another series while reading this. I don't know if that's like just me or like, I don't know, that's kind of weird, but that's just how I feel about it. Also, this book has been on my TBR for a while, and I just think I'm just in the mood for it. I'm just ready for Belladonna. I have a copy of The Spanish Love Deception, which I have heard such polarizing things about. Like, some people love it and some people really don't. So my friend actually gifted me this, and I have really kind of been in the mood for a little romance. It is a little bit long. It's over 400 pages, so I am hoping that I am on the side of really liking it versus not liking it, because that's a lot to read if I don't like it. The next book that I want to read in February is The Luminaries, and I picked this up at my local library, and I have seen this literally everywhere in Barnes & Noble when it first came out. It was like plastered everywhere, every display. I Can't remember if I read the synopsis back then or if I just kind of passed it by because I was like, meh, I don't know. But I was at the library and I spotted it and I was like, and I read the synopsis and I was like, this actually sounds really good. And the sequel to this book is coming out in November, so kind of like Belladonna, it's like, yes, it is a start of a series, but I don't even have the option of reading the next book yet, so it kind of seems a little bit safe to start in addition to other series. And then last but certainly not least is Gone Girl. This one's a little iffy. Like, I picked it up at the thrift store, it was $1, and I've heard like everybody loves this book in the thriller sphere, like it's a really good book. It was even like when I was at the thrift store, I was looking at it and I was talking to my friend about it, and there was a lady that was standing right next to me and she was like, no, like that is such a good book, you have to get it. I mean, if a random lady at the thrift store is advocating for this book, I would say it's probably good. So I would like to read this if I'm itching to read a mystery thriller. Last but certainly not least, I need your help with this one, okay? I really need your help because this is the I'm gonna start a series, okay, situation, and I don't know which one to start, okay? We have some big names, people. We have some big names. First, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. I did pick up the advanced reader's copy in a free little library and I just think that's hilarious. I have heard so many amazing things about this book, and so am I kind of jonesing to get into it? Yes. Let me know in the comments if you think I should start Once Upon a Broken Heart. Next option is Shadow and Bone, okay? I know that there are 2 more books after this, and then there's The Six of Crows and The Crooked Kingdom. So this is kind of a big thing to commit to and dive into. If I love it, I'm gonna wanna devour the entire thing, okay? So, not sure if I should start this one, not sure if I should start this one first. Okay, so in the comments, let me know if you vote for Shadow and Bone. Last is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. First, I love this edition. It's so pretty, the black. I absolutely love it. And it has these, like, under the dust jacket. So pretty. And then it has these character drawings. Absolutely love it. So this is just like such a beautiful book, and I have been jonesing to start this book. But like I said, it is part of a series. It has 2 other books that come after it. So I just don't know. Because I can't do all 3 of these at once. My wallet will not survive, okay? My wallet will not survive. So please let me know in the comments what your vote is. Is it for Once Upon a Broken Heart? Is it for Shadow and Bone? Or is it for A Darker Shade of Magic? Because I'm gonna pick one to read. So I would love to know your guys' opinion on which series you think I should start in February, because I'm so excited for all 3 of these, okay? I really am. And so like obviously eventually I'm going to get to all of them. So let me know what you think. So that's pretty much it. And obviously I'm gonna finish The Stolen Heir in February because I am just about halfway done with it. Thank you so much for sticking around and talking about books with me. I'm just having such a good time with you guys and doing this whole thing, and it's just crazy that it's a new year. And yeah, I don't know what I don't know the right words, but I can just say in the new year, this year, I'm just so excited to keep doing this and keep sharing books with you guys and keep reading more, getting into the book community more, and just sharing awesome books with you guys and hearing what you guys love. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you in my next one. Happy reading. Bye.